Oh hey, how's it going? You know, relativity is a funny thing, because the deeper you delve into the subject, the more you come to understand that you don't really understand anything, but that's okay, because at the end of the day you can still understand the things that truly matter. And I could go on a whole rant that's essentially summed up by the plot of Interstellar, or I could dive into something a little more unique.
Trains.
You know them, you love them, and for a short period of time they ran the world before we, as the true Americans we are, collectively decided we've had enough of all that, and took our liberty via 20-lane highways with a side of occasional vehicular manslaughter as a caveat. But, most importantly for this video, they're capable of traveling at a linear velocity along a set track, and we can use this to, well, not really break the laws of physics, but really push some limits. For example, take a look at this guy. Now, to understand relativity, we need to set frames of reference. Alright, for example, if our frame of reference is an onlooker who is standing near the train as it passes, then both the train and by consequence the guy are moving at a certain velocity. Great, okay, we've established trains look like they're moving. However, to the guy on the train, aka from his frame of reference, it appears as though he is still, and the rest of the world, including the onlooker, is moving backwards at the velocity in which the train actually is moving. To sum that up, equal magnitudes, opposite directions. A bit of a side note that's important when considering all of this. You actually don't feel velocity as much as the forces enacting upon you as a result of that velocity, like air resistance. This is the reason why, for example, you can't feel the Earth spinning since it's a near constant velocity. You do feel acceleration, which is why you get that gut feeling on a roller coaster. But if you were traveling a steady 200 miles per hour in space, you really wouldn't know until you passed something. And even then, you wouldn't know if you were traveling 200 miles per hour, if the object was traveling 200 miles per hour, or if you were actually both traveling 100 miles per hour, just in opposite directions, since ultimately you are your own frame of reference. Now back to our train example. What would the velocity of the man be if he were to walk across the train? See, to the guy, he was walking at, you know, normal human walking speed. But to someone looking at the train, since his frame of reference is that of being theoretically stationary in comparison to the train, the guy was actually moving at the velocity of the train and then some. Hey man, thanks for doing that. You did good up there. Good job walking, bud. You can get down now. You can start to get down once the train... Oh no! Oh. Yeah, ma. Yeah. No, therapy ain't working for that one. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. And the worst part is, I think we're financially liable. I don't know. I didn't even know he was a real guy. I thought he was just like a PNG or like a GIF or something. Alright, you know what? I gotta get back into this. Alright, I'll call you later. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so let's take this whole relative velocity concept to the... with the use of an...
Infinite train.
It's a train but really long.
Cool.
Now put another train on top of it.
Now the infinity train has a top speed that it can reach, and the topper train, on the infinite train's infinite rail, also has a top speed that it can reach. But remember, reference frames. Though the topper train has a top speed relative to itself. Relative to us, it's exceeding its own top speed, due to, you know, traveling on an already moving frame. Okay, now watch this. And bear with me here, I'm about to blow your mind. Oh yes, I'll accept my rewards in the mail. I've done it. I broke the laws of physics with trains, perpetual motion and all that. We don't need fancy acceleration to reach light speed, just trains, more and more trains. What? Oh, okay, alright, that actually makes a lot of sense, okay. Yeah, so apparently according to this Einstein guy, this isn't possible at all. Contradiction 1. Velocity addition is relativistic to the speed of light, and especially so when you're dealing with things with such high speeds. This results in a non-linear trajectory that ultimately leads towards diminishing returns on energy input the closer you get to the speed of light. 2. Mass is also relative. The closer you get to the speed of light, the greater the relative mass of the object you are accelerating. This means that the object will require more and more force and by proxy more and more energy the more it's accelerated. Okay, then what about a smaller scale? Maybe we don't hit close to the speed of light, but why not just use this train method to skip typical acceleration? Well, not only are you not skipping acceleration, you're introducing a lot of inefficiencies during the process. For example, I wasn't entirely honest earlier in this video when my buddy walked across the top of that train and the little incident we don't talk about happened. Sure, he is able to walk across the train and go at a pretty fast speed relative to the ground frame, definitely faster than you would walk normally. But when you're on top of that train, accelerating to that walking velocity takes way more energy. For example, just look at this kinetic energy formula. If an object's velocity doubles, its kinetic energy is quadrupled. This means that if we're trying to do this method with the same energy input on top of itself over and over again, the inefficiencies will cause it to simply not be able to accelerate at all at a certain point. And at the end of the day, it would have been easier to just invest in the acceleration of the base train. So no, I didn't break the laws of physics, but it just goes to show that it's important to delve into these thought experiments from time to time and really understand why things operate the way they do. And also to show that relativity can get weird when approaching light speed, like, yo, watch this.
2,000 years later.
Okay, I'm back, and I just did an interstellar. My bad, everyone. Thank you for watching.